What's going on, guys? Bruce Matz here, your host show of Metro Scout Fantasy Football. And today we're doing our rankings and tiers for week 2 for the running back position. I started off with rankings earlier in the week for running backs, but here we go. We're going to do the tiers and messing around with these rankings. Hope this helps you out with your lineups. If this is something you're into, let me know by smashing that like button. Really encourages me to keep doing these videos, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button because I'm going to be dropping a lot of content like this to help you out for your fantasy leagues. But let's go ahead and take a look at the tier list. One less tier this week. Kind of want to condense things and make things a little simpler. But let's start things out with our stud tier. I think that's what the S means. But Jonathan Taylor at Jacksonville. We got Saquon Barkley, Carolina. And we got Christian McCaffrey at the Giants. That's our stud tier this week. Jonathan Taylor, I don't really need to say much here. Stud running back, stud volume, stud athleticism, stud everything. Saquon's usage in the passing game is next to none. Until that goes away, until his volume goes away, I'm not taking him out. I'm starting him no matter what. Christian McCaffrey's Christian McCaffrey until he's not Christian McCaffrey anymore. That's it. That's a stud tier. That's a lock. It's a lock. I'm not second guessing this. Let's do the next tier, tier A. So we're going to just start the tier with DeAndre Swift, Dalvin Cook, Joe Mixon, James Conner, and Leonard Fournette. That's this tier for right now. As you know, we switch things off and on throughout the video. We mix these guys up. One thing is DeAndre Swift's little injuries messing around with. I'm going to move him back here for now. I'm going to move him back here. I'm a little bit uncertain. I don't know what the pitch count's going to look like. I don't know if he's going to be full go. I haven't heard many reports since then. He could be all right, but let's keep it like this. Dalvin Cook at Philly. That should be a barn burner of the game. They should be moving the ball, and I like Minnesota's chances here. I think Cook's going to have a good stat line. He should be able to. We also got Joe Mixon at Dallas. I look for the Bengals to be ahead of Dallas pretty easy. They'll probably use him in the back half of the game pretty heavily, so I'm going to keep him there. I feel good. James Conner in Vegas, high-scoring game. I'm good with that. Lenny Fournette against the Saints. That dude's been getting volume. He looked good last week. I'm going to keep him there. And Swift, I can bump him down. I can bump him up. If he's hurt for real and it's still going into this game and he's playing with it, I have him less than tier A. But we don't know. If he's good to go, he's getting the touches like he was last week, he is in tier A, and he's probably up there with Cook and Mixon. I just don't know. I'm not him. I haven't talked to anybody. I'm not with the Lions or anything. So we're just going to have to speculate. You're just going to have to watch the news going into your matchup. But that's tier A for right now. Things might switch up here in a bit. So let's move on to our tier B here. I'm going to throw them in, then we'll change them up real quick. So we got Nick Chubb, Javonte Williams, Antonio Gibson, Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, and A.J. Dillon. So, Nick Chubb at the Jets. I like Chubb this week because the Browns should roll on the Jets a little bit, but it should be a low-scoring game. Brissett's not good enough to make it a higher-scoring game or make that spread too heavy, so we may want to watch out for that. Alvin Kamara against Tampa Bay should be an interesting matchup. It's hard to run on Tampa Bay, but he might get some checkdowns. Derrick Henry at Buffalo. I'm going to move him up a little bit. The matchup's sexy. He's a 30-point guy. He can get you that many PPR fantasy points in a single week. We're already conservative without having him in tier A. Let's move him to the top of tier B. There's question marks with all these running backs. I like Antonio Gibson. He's in a good matchup against Philly. And we know the Lions RBs ate on Philly. He's probably going to be able to eat on Philly. So let's keep him there. And it's a high-scoring matchup. Over-under's at 49, so the projected point total should be a little higher than in most games. So we like that. I'm not sleeping on Alvin Kamara at all. The rushing attack's going to be rough against Tampa Bay's run defense, but I could see him be using the passing game. He's just hanging out in this tier. The Bash brothers with A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones. They're splitting up the load, but they're in a matchup where Green Bay could be ahead heavy in this game. The spread's at 10. The Packers are favored by 10 by Vegas against Chicago. They could be running it out with these two guys, and they could both be RB1s this week. I could see that happening. They both get used in the passing game. High upside for both guys. They could be tier A, tier S production here. We're very conservative here at B, but they could also be down on us. One guy could hit and one guy not. But I like both running backs, so I got them there. Let's go with the next tier. Tier C. Cordero Patterson. Darrell Henry. Daryl. Josh Jacobs. Kareem Hunt. Rashad Penny. That's it for this tier. I like Cordero Patterson. He is a sneaky play. Kind of want to keep him there. I don't know what to think of Darrell Henderson. I know volume's probably going to be there, unless they have Darrell Henderson games and Cam Akers games, and they're bluffing us. But I think Darrell Henderson's going to get some work. Josh Jacobs in a prime matchup. He's in a prime matchup. Let's move him up a little bit. I see him getting some volume, and I see this matchup going money printer go Burr with him. So I should expect him to get some production. Kareem Hunt's always a wild card. Kareem Hunt can always score up with these guys, but you don't know. This is supposed to be a low projected total, but it was supposed to be like that with Carolina, and he did well. Safe bet is just have him ranked a little lower. But honestly, you're probably starting some of these backs on some of your leagues. B, A, and S, you're starting all those running backs. Tier C, there's some question marks, but you're probably starting them too. With Penny over here, we got Kenneth Walker coming back, making his debut. That could impact his total. That makes him a risk. Compared to these guys, you may want to bump him down here to Tier D. Tier D's got some risks as well. Let's go ahead and just start this. This is a huge tier. And I just call this the risky tier. Like, you're probably starting some of these guys, but I kind of hate these guys as well. So, Zeke, David Montgomery, Chase Edmonds, Jeff Wilson, Melvin Gordon, Michael Carter, Damian Harris, Travis Etienne, Dameon Pierce. One thing is, I'm going to move Travis Etienne up here. I like him as a speculative gamble for me. And the reason why was his usage in the passing game. He did look explosive. He did have those drops. He did have that ball fly away from him when he got smacked. That happens. Zeke's in a poor game script, poor quarterback play, poor offensive line play, pretty much dead. Dave Montgomery's sharing the backfield. Should be trailing in this game. Not a good game script. We don't know much about Jeff Wilson. We don't know if they're going to use all the running backs. And Deebo Samuel is going to steal carries. Michael Carter sharing with Breece Hall. We should see Breece Hall start stealing more workload. Dameon Pierce needs more work in the passing game to be viable. However, if this team gets up, they're going to use him and use him a lot. Chase Edmonds is always a wild card, but you're never feeling good starting him. Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson. You can just flip and flop their pictures in these tiers if you want. I don't care. I'm not too keen on either one of them. You don't know which Patriots running back you want to start. And this is about it for the tiers here. I'm not really moving as many guys around, recalibrating this thing. I think Travis Etienne, I want to gamble on him this week. I like his matchup against Indy. The game script's supposed to be a little bit tight. The Colts are favored by 4 points. But I could see him catching some checkdowns this week and then hitting some numbers for us. Cordell Patterson's always sneaky. Josh Jacobs in a sneaky matchup. Alvin Kamara, I feel like I'm sleeping on him a little bit, but this matchup's not super dreamy for him. But I wouldn't be surprised if he scores with the Tier A guys and Tier S. Remember what I said about DeAndre Swift. 100% healthy, he's here. Somewhat nicked up, probably here. Ish. If he's all the way out, of course he's out. So I don't know what to do with DeAndre Swift until Sunday morning. Derrick Henry, I feel like he's due for a big game here. So I wouldn't be surprised. That's why he's ahead of Tier B. Dalvin Cook's lock. Joe Mixon, going to be a lock. James Conner's going to be good. Tier S is solid. I feel solid with this. Tier D's big, but these guys are very ambiguous. But there's another guy. Got one more guy for you here. Najee Harris sounds like he's good to go. Sounds like he's good to go for this game. We're going to throw him in here. Low volume game against the Patriots. Coming back from injury. Don't know if he's going to be on a pitch count or not. Don't know what's going on with that. Don't know what that's going to look like. I'm being conservative around this range here. Just around this range. Somewhere around here. I'm just throwing them around here. Just right there. That's good. Damian Harris. Najee Harris will be playing. The report came out today. Throwing him in here in Tier B. I didn't have him in my ranks prior because I just said, hey, move him up pretty high in the ranks. You're starting him if he's healthy. It's Friday. We got the word out, so that's a good sign. So he should be really good to go for Sunday, getting a large portion of the touches. But you still want to be a little bit cautious. But you're still starting him because he's one of your studs. Should get a ton of workload. The game script's not optimal, though, and there could be a pitch count of some sort, especially with Jaylen Warren being a monster as a blocker in a passing game. They could just take Harris out for a few plays and just let Jaylen Warren do his thing because he's a monster at pass blocking. He can catch the ball in the backfield. He can really step up and allow Harris get some extra breathers so they can have him later in the season. You don't know what's going to happen once this game starts. And plus, it's a lower volume game on here versus the Patriots. But I feel like he's going to get a good portion of the touches still. I think he's still going to be viable. Well, that's it for the rankings and tiers. Let me know what you think in the comments. Drop it like it's hot in there. Also, smash that like button. Helps the video out on my algorithm. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel because I'm dropping content like this, helping you out, setting your lineups, and making those decisions. And plus, it's good analysis as well. I want to thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next video.